The Burden of Glory, a devotional for the season of Lent, produced by Northside Church. Wednesday, April 1st. Our scripture passages today come from John chapter 1, verse 14, and Isaiah chapter 61, verses 1 and 2.
The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor.
When we answer the call to serve the least of these, including visiting those who are in prison, we do it not for our own benefit, but for their sake and for the sake of Jesus himself. That being said, it does benefit us. As Jesus said, when we do these things, we are doing them for Christ himself. We are meeting Jesus where he is, and that is a transformative experience for us. Serving the least of these also reminds us of just how fragile our lives are, and that we are not any different than those we serve. They do as much for us as we do for them. And I suspect that deep down, one of the reasons we are so uncomfortable visiting those in prison is because it reminds us of the prisons we live in as well. Up until now, I have avoided reflecting on Jesus' call to serve the least of these in spiritual or metaphorical terms. I've done this because I believe Jesus' call is concrete and material. It's not spiritual or metaphorical. When he calls us to visit folks in prison, he is telling us to go visit real people in real prisons. I've also avoided it because spiritualizing or making Jesus' command metaphorical is just another way of avoiding our burden to answer his call. That being said, as we move toward the end of Holy Week and the meaning of the events therein, I am reminded of the words of Richard Lovelace. Stone walls do not a prison make, nor iron bars a cage. Another perhaps darker way of saying it, not all prisons have bars. Most of us know what it's like to feel imprisoned by our thoughts, our feelings, or our circumstances. In a very real sense, every dark and desperate situation we experience can feel like a prison, even with no walls or bars in sight. One situation that we all face and that we must all endure is the prison of sin and death. I don't mean this metaphorically. We are literally imprisoned by sin and death. It's not like other prisons, to be sure, and it comes with the illusion of freedom. But make no mistake, we carry this prison with us everywhere we go. And this is the reason the Word became flesh, the reason God gave his one and only Son. Jesus came not only to visit us in this prison, but to make his life with us here, and ultimately to set us free from our captivity to sin and death. Jesus calls us to visit those in prison, but let us not forget that he visited us first.